team. All right, boys. Reckless speculation Thursday here.
Did we just get
speculation
a runway update?
Well, I think the information about the one runway has been out there. I don't think Doogie was breaking any news there.
But I didn't know that was still the case. So we got an update.
Well, I mean, did the weather
runway
get better in the last day?
2023. Runway 2023. What's the latest? Doogie tells you only one open. Don't bother going to the airport.
Maybe we should just create a new YouTube channel for MSP runway updates here. Is anyone doing that
on
YouTube? Could be a good niche.
You laugh. It could be huge.
Apparently, the one runway that they have open, they only used, it's like a runway they never use. And they only used it like 8 times in all of 2022. And they used it for like all flights yesterday.
Runway analytics, baby. You're throwing it out there.
Well, it just seems a little dangerous, right? Like, what if there's a pothole or something that they didn't know about because they never use it?
That's probably brand new. No, it's probably nice. It's probably nice and it's probably really good shape because it's not used much.
I don't know. I have a question for you guys here, and AJ's in for Declan on Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily because Declan did make it out to warmer parts of the country to go visit some family in North Carolina, but some news came out earlier. What's that?
You see his tweet earlier? Just no drifts, but a lot of sunshine, and he's just sitting on a porch drinking a cup of coffee. He's just sun for days.
He's just taunting people.
You know what?
Mocking and taunting people.
That's not very nice, but I will say this. From every situation that might not be great, there is good. And I'm going to tell you right now, Age, I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Hey,
I think you're doing a great job, and you are here. I'm just saying jobs have been lost for less.
I battled the elements.
I love Dex, but you're in the studio. Exactly right. You came in through what is...
You're just moving on from Declan, just like that. The guy taunts a couple people on Twitter, and you're just like the Vikings roster to you. Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Declan Goff, none of these people mean anything to you. They're just chess pieces on a board.
Phil, need I remind you, as someone with far more responsibility at the company than me, that our executive producer today comes in a very, very favorable salary cap slot.
What do you mean?
I'm saying that if your boss, Dan Seaman, comes to you today and says, boy, Age sounds really good, and I'm looking at his salary right now. And I'm looking at Declan's. I'm just saying it could be out there. We always talk about cutting people.
I'll let you write an article for VikingsWire.com about the
saying.
status of our executive producer. Right? Let's get into. Here's what I want to ask you guys, and I guess this kind of falls under the reckless speculation umbrella here. So yesterday, Netflix and the NFL announced a partnership here. It'll be the first partnership ever between Netflix and the NFL. And the end result is called Quarterback, a docuseries that explores each season through the lens of an NFL quarterback. The first season, coming this summer, focuses on Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, Falcons quarterback Marcus Mariota, and Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. The announcement promises exclusive, unprecedented access to the players both on the field and in their homes. The 3 quarterbacks had microphones on them for every game of their seasons and behind-the-scenes footage, homes, like they said. Mahomes' newly formed production company will produce the series. He's quoted in the release, as is Peyton Manning, because Omaha Productions is also part of the project. So what are you looking forward to seeing specifically from Kirk Cousins in this all-access docuseries?
AJ, go ahead. I'm going to let you tackle that one first.
I think it's going to be hilarious to see the discrepancies between the other 2 quarterbacks and Kirk Cousins. It's going to be amazing because I imagine they're going to do like the typical, like, we're going to look into him for about 15 minutes. Then we got to focus on Mariota for 15 minutes. The Falcons, bad season. They're struggling. He's dealing with a lot of that stuff. And then it cuts to Kirk Cousins and he's just like out on the patio, just cooking a steak and just not a care in the world.
Yeah. Not studying relaxed film, right? Yeah. Not texting teammates obsessively like Tom Brady at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I want to know the pitch meeting. How did they settle on Kirk Cousins? Did they say we need somebody who's a little more down to earth? Did they want somebody to like kind of ground the show and maybe show a contrast between different guys? Because if you told me it was just like we have a Kirk Cousins specific episode, That doesn't seem like a Netflix thing. That seems like maybe a strictly like Vikings YouTube network episode. That doesn't seem like something that a lot of people around the country are going to maybe log in. I can't wait for the internet viral like 5-second clip of him saying or doing something that is just infamous. That's probably the biggest thing.
How did they land on him is an interesting question, because on the surface he's like very cookie cutter and boring, but he's also he's kind of this mysterious, fascinating figure because he was the first guaranteed contract ever. He's like the quintessential corporate quarterback, the way that he speaks, the way that he looks, everything. He's never gotten in trouble for anything. And you're kind of wondering, what is he really like behind closed doors in a locker room? What is he really like at home? So I am kind of fascinated to see if there's another level or two to his life and personality that we haven't seen yet to this point.
And I'm guessing they got turned down as well. They probably asked, 15, 10 guys, and
they tried to follow Aaron Rodgers into the darkness. And
three said yes. But it is ultimately, I think it's a good cast because it's in Mariota, a young, struggling guy who, at the time he agreed to it, was trying to get his career back on track with the Falcons. It's an absolute superstar, like a GOAT type of guy. And then Kirk. But AJ's right. Like, I mean, the great thing with Kirk is it could be incredibly boring. I have no idea. But it could be just sort of funny. And, we know Kirk is quirky as hell. So that's not a surprise. So, like, in a 13-win season in which a lot went right, how did Kirk process things? And, Kirk's a different cat. So I love this. I think it's actually going to provide a lot of fodder. And Netflix is doing, and here's where they're so damn smart. Instead of pursuing live sports, which cost you an arm and a leg, right? Like if you try and get football rights, you are going to pay. Netflix is doing a marvelous job of saying, screw it, documentaries, and then doing good ones. Like, this is a really smart play. What they've got the golf one now, the
F1.
racing one. The racing one, I think the F1 was their first one.
The Netflix F1 documentary boosted ratings on ESPN, and I don't know if they have other networks, but it legitimately. I'm curious to see if it does the same thing for some of these PGA Tour players or some of the live players, because it was kind of split.
But this feels like a really, really smart play. It feels like a little bit of what HBO did in the early 2000s for shows, Sopranos, The Wire, right?
Well, Hard Knocks.
Yeah, Hard Knocks. Like this is, because I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, I'm very intrigued also how inside the building they'll take you. Like, do we go inside O'Connell's office? Did he allow that? Like, there's just a lot of questions, but I'm actually excited for it.
Interesting point here by Florio. I think Florio wrote this on, Mike Florio wrote this yesterday. Quarterback, that's the name of the docuseries, could have landed anywhere. It's not with one of the NFL's current broadcast partners. The fact that it's with a company with which the NFL hasn't previously done business should not be underestimated as the NFL's gears slowly churn into the future of TV, or as the case may be, not TV. It is interesting that they're trying to, their longtime pillar relationships have been with CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC, Disney, ESPN, little Amazon last year, right?
Yeah, for live.
Maybe a little Netflix here with this quarterback series, just to sort of test out the mechanics of the relationship and the production and everything.
And Netflix also now, I think, has become a super respected home of shows like this, which I think is important. Because, like, if you just stick this on coming up on Paramount, like we all think, okay, great, yeah, might be good, but it's Paramount, CBS offshoot. I think it's very, very smart to take a documentary that sounds like it's going to be good like this and put it on a service that has respect. Like, it's a smart play. It's a really smart play. But I am curious, like I'm sure the rest of us at first, when I read this yesterday, I sort of rolled my eyes and thought, Kirk Cousins, what's that? But the more I thought about it, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
What is the one thing, so we've kind of been immersed in Kirkland here for about a half decade, right? 5 seasons, going into his 6th, if my math is right. And I don't know. I feel like we know some things about him, but it also feels like he's still kind of a mysterious figure in some ways. What is the number one thing you want to see behind the scenes? What's the number one thing you're most curious about that you hope comes out in this documentary about Kirk Cousins?
I want to see more of what his actual competitive fire is. I feel like we sort of have seen a lot of the aw shucks guy, But I'll always go back to the documentary that the league did on him signing with the Vikings, and when they included the thing where he basically said, we played the Jets, we got them financially where we want them, showed a competitive fire to win that negotiation in a big way. So I'd like to see, if we get a look at Kirk and some consistency of Kirk's day, what that guy is like. Because I think he does a good job of playing up the sort of cliche dad role, and he is quirky, but like, you don't get to be where Kirk is without there being a level that goes beyond you like that. And so that's what I'm interested to see, if we sort of get a glimpse at the day-to-day Kirk, what the competitive fire is actually like, which I don't think we've seen it ever consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat. I want to see, because I think he falls into that, like, that movie quarterback, if that makes sense. Like, he knows his lines. He's going to go out there and he plays a certain role where at post-game press conference, if it's a bad loss, he's got the textbook on, here's how I respond to this answer, here's how I respond to it. I kind of want to see the behind the scenes, if he goes home and they're at dinner and he's like, God, if I could have just hit that pass, if I could just hit that hole, or they get, he has a sit down with Kevin O'Connell and they maybe not get at each other's throats, but I want to see that fire maybe behind the scenes that we haven't seen before, of, maybe instead of putting their arm around him and, yay, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. It's, look, we can't be throwing a slant there. Hey, Kirk, you can't be dumping it off when, not to bring this up, but, 4th and 8, you can't be throwing it 3 yards short of the sticks. We have to go deep here. Like, I want to see that more raw, uncut footage. I'm anxious to see, though, maybe how much control the teams and franchises might have over the final say. Because I know for a lot of the Amazon Prime's video, they do this series called All or Nothing, and they've done it for football teams and soccer teams. And it ends up being, you can tell, more of a orchestrated, here's why you should almost like our team and our franchise, and we're a brand and not just whatever. But they obviously can't control the actions outside of what's going on. They win, sweet, they lose, they don't have any control. But if there's like a total blow up, I want to see an uncut, uncensored 5-minute version of a halftime speech at the Colts game. That can't be edited.
Because some of the stuff, when you talk about the absolute best quarterbacks of the last 15, 20 years, right? Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, I would say even Aaron Rodgers to some extent, and there's some others. There's these moments of Brady freaking out, just competitive fire boiling over, right? Patrick Mahomes yelling at Andy Reid, put me back in the game, my ankle's fine, this type of stuff. And you see a little bit, you'll see emotions from Kirk once in a while, but everything about Kirk just seems, AJ kind of nailed it with the movie star analogy. Everything seems very scripted. It's like 90% of what we've seen from Kirk is very scripted and thought out and corporate. But we do see the 10% glimpses, the you like that's, or the Kirko chains on the plane, some of this stuff. I want more of the 10%. I want to know if there is more of the 10%. I want to see more about, I don't think anyone, believes his teammates hate him or anything like that. But, when we have to have the coach come out and say like, hey, just so you guys know, his team voted him a captain, as if it's like, yeah, of course he's a captain. He's a freaking quarterback who makes 30. He should be the captain. Like, why is that even a thing that we're bragging about or talking about? I just want to see what is he like behind the scenes on a more real and raw level.
If there's two things from 2023 that we sort of saw, but we don't know a ton about, that I would love to see actually captured with context. The first one is the training camp practice against San Francisco, where Kirk drops an F-bomb. You effing like that. And like what led up to that? Because his parents are in the stands. This is a guy who does not swear traditionally at all. And like, I would love to know like what triggered that, like what triggers him. And then the second one, Age brought this up, but I would love to see, and this one's dicey, but I would love to see exactly what transpired with O'Connell and Kirk after the 4th and 8 3-yard pass. Because O'Connell got into him. There's no question about that. And he fired back. Like Kirk might not swear a lot, and Kirk might be a nice guy, but we've seen it before. There's a fire there. And I would love to see the entire context of what played out there as a guy literally threw 5 yards short of the sticks with your season on the line.
I want to see what he's like in the kitchen too. I want to see if he has dull knives or not, because you're looking at a guy here who suffered from dull knives for a long time, boys. That's right. My name is Phil, and
Hi, Phil.
I've had problems. Hi, Judd. Hi, AJ. And I've had problems with dull knives, and that's why it's great that I discovered mydullknives.com. Stop squishing tomatoes when you try to slice them with dull knives. You want to talk about cutting sweet potatoes for our specialty sweet potato fries? Yeah, really hard with dull knives. It's embarrassing to walk around all day knowing that people are judging me, the laughs, the finger pointing. This is where the folks at Vivront come in. They offer you a safe and professional mail kit. You can send your dull knives on a little vacation, and Vivront mails them back to you professionally sharpened, all within just a few days at mydullknives.com. If you've never had your knives sharpened, and most people haven't, it's a game-changing experience, even for idiots like me who are just sort of trying to be adults for the first time in my 30s and cook more often. It's a confidence booster for sure. mydullknives.com. mydullknives.com. Who wants to mock?
I want to mock.
Who doesn't want to mock? Because if you
Judd,
don't, get out of here.
I think this is your partner here, because you do work, written work for Vikings Wire. This is the Draft Wire section of USA Today here that just came out with a new mock.
I love it.
Did you have input in this?
No, I did not.
I think you should speak to a manager.
I listen to mocks. You know what? I draw the line at where I know my expertise does not lie, and I do not crunch enough college football tape to help mock.
I think a lot of these places just sort of go out. It's not like, I don't think all these places are crunching tape. They're just kind of.
That's not credible then. Damn it.
So we bring you a few different mocks every single week across Purple Daily and Mackey and Judd. We're trying to round up, see sort of which way is the wind blowing in the mockosphere when it comes to the Vikings first round pick. To this point, in the 18 mock drafts that we have done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Over half of the draft picks have been cornerbacks, 3 wide receivers, a couple edge rushers in there, but it's largely cornerback and then maybe wide receiver. Let's see what the Draft Wire from USA Today has to say.
I want to mock.
Right. They have a trade with the number 1 overall pick,
Nice.
as they should. They've got the Colts trading up for Bryce Young.
Okay.
Let's see here. What's the trade? So it would include at least this year's second-round pick, next year's first-round pick. So the Bears would pick up an extra first next year and a second, and they would drop down 3 spots while the Colts get Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud to the Texans with the number 2 pick. Mm-hmm. Will Anderson to the Cardinals. The Bears then get Jalen Carter. Edge rusher Tyree Wilson to the Seahawks at 5. Will Levis to the Panthers at 6. This is a trade, right? Yeah, they trade up, I think. Yeah, they jump ahead of the Raiders, giving up one of their 2 second-rounders to get Will Levis.
I know what the Raiders are going to do.
Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
So 4 quarterbacks in the first 7 picks. So let's keep scrolling here. Cornerback Devin Witherspoon to the Lions at 9. Patriots trade up for that Northwestern offensive tackle. A lot of trades here from, I love it, the Draft Wire. Going for it.
Way to go, Draft Wire.
Quentin Johnston to the Texans, first receiver off the board at 12. Got some cornerbacks going here. Little cornerback run. Let's see here. Joey Porter's the 5th cornerback off the board of the Steelers at 17. Bijan Robinson to the Lions at 18. Jordan Addison, the 2nd receiver off the board of the Chiefs at 19. Who trade up, right? Aren't they trading up here? Interesting. Love these trades. Jalen Hyatt, little receiver run. Okay, Vikings at 23. According to the Draft Wire, they select out of Mississippi State cornerback Emmanuel Forbes.
I want to mock.
Okay. I don't think we've seen.
I don't think that name is, of all the cornerbacks mocked to the Vikings, I don't think that one's crossed.
Ooh, actually it has. Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper had Emmanuel Forbes.
Okay, I'm kicking myself right now. Like,
Forget
how
about
could
the
I forget what
Godfather, man.
Godfather mock did? I'm done.
Off your game here.
Yeah, I'm getting
bringing in Brian Flores is a huge boost for one of the league's worst defenses, and his first order of business should be improving the secondary. Forbes was a big play machine for the Bulldogs and would be a perfect fit in this defense. So there you have it.
You know, have we come across yet a mock that has the Vikings trading back?
No, a lot of these mocks, like the trades that they do, are like in the top 10
I
usually.
know.
But
I
more
know.
realistically, teams are moving around
I'd like
later
to
in
see
the
a
first round.
specific, but like I want my team addressed with what I think that they might do.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that there has not been one just hardcore mocker.
Well,
who's
you
like,
have, I mean, you have a platform on the
I
same
do.
website.
I don't really enjoy mocking, but I might have to do something
I think you
that
do.
clearly indicates. But I don't want to do the rest of the picks.
Why can't you? Here's an idea for you. Here's a content idea for you and Tyler,
Okay.
because Tyler
Let's just keep
Fornes
this
is
quiet.
the.
Let's keep it quiet.
What should I give this to you off the
tell.
air?
No, I'm just saying Tyler can't hopefully hear this. So, okay.
No,
go ahead.
I'm saying no. This is an idea for both you guys.
All right.
He knows all the players and stuff, but
Yep.
you know sort of the 30,000-foot maneuvering of things.
Oh yeah.
So why can't you guys team up on a mock draft concept where he does the actual like selections leading up, and then you say, okay, this would be a good time based on,
For
the
a
way the
trade?
board is playing out
Ooh.
to trade back from 23 to 29, pick up an
this.
extra second or
like
third round
this.
pick. You guys should co-author a Vikings mock draft
This is a
next
great
week on
idea.
VikingsWire.com.
Post combine perhaps.
Okay.
Because we'll then because things will change next week. Like there will be a seismic shift in things as far as workouts go and stuff. I like
Oh,
that
yeah.
idea.
Okay.
I like that idea. Hold on a second. I'm
Why don't you
gonna-
write that one down?
Nope. I'm gonna text Tyler right now. Hold on. Hey Tyler, I've got an idea. Just been thinking
It's
about.
it's mine, all mine
Been
alone.
noodling.
Yeah.
Been noodling on this for a while.
Amazing. All right, we'll do some feedback Friday tomorrow. I'm Mackey and Judd over on Purple Daily today. We're going to put our heads together. We are going to be the Vikings front office. We're going to kick everyone else out. We're going to go through basically the full off season cuts, extensions, trades,
I come with my notepad. I was doing some work last night, as I know you were.
free agent signings. We're going to do a mock draft simulation. We're going to do it all today. Look at that. That's a full page.
I
Look at
know.
that guy.
UFAs, cuts, some hard decisions on that page.
And some easy ones, to be honest with you.
Touche.
So, all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow on Mackey and Judd and later today on Purple Daily.